Welcome back to part 2 of this edition of Friday 50/50. You know, Lockie, my wonderful coach, and we're friends now as well, which is beautiful. He was telling me about, I hope he won't mind me sharing, I can't imagine he will because he said it on his video. Yeah. He was talking about how he is a projector. He used that term, I'm a projector, I'm meant to use my voice. And I messaged him and said, what are you talking about? And he said, there's this thing called a human design. Have you ever heard of it? It's based on like 4 or 5 different spiritual or different things like the I Ching, Kabbalah, horoscope. Of course, a lot of people go, what a load of shit. But
no.
So you put in your name, place of birth, date of birth, time of birth is quite important, and it gives you this report, and you can pay for a full report. Yeah. Or, of course, what you can do is use certain recent AI technologies and ask it to explain it to you. Anyway, how's this, Danielle? I've got to read it to you, actually. It's so spooky. So I did my one, and 2 things happened. One that was very expected. I've just looked at my phone and I have 6 messages. I better check that, even though we're literally recording. That seems a worrisome number of messages. I just have to tell you this particular thing. Okay, so you get these different numbers and lots of...
it's not gene keys, is it?
I don't know. It's called human design, but I don't know what it's connected to apart from those things I said. So there's this particular thing. Profile is a 3-5, which is martyr/heretic. Line 3, martyr. You learn through trial and error. Mistakes are your greatest teachers. You discover what works by experimenting and experiencing.
This is true of Tam.
This is true of Tam. Then the other one, line 5, heretic. You're seen as others as a problem solver or fixers. Others project expectations on you and you often bring practical universal solutions, which is what I do when I'm coaching.
I know.
Bloody hell.
I like Tam, this. And you're like, I know. Read this book, read this poem,
do this. What's going on? I can think.
Here's a diagram that will explain to you what's going on in your brain. I'm like, thanks, Tam.
Totally. So I'm just trying to see if it's got the literal word. Oh, look. When we started this podcast, what did we say in the first episode? I said, I've always had this feeling that I'm meant to live my life, make mistakes, and share about not just what I'm doing right, but more about what I'm doing wrong and what I've learned. Yes. Listen to this line. Yeah. You learn by trying, failing, and trying again, and then guiding others from what you've learned.
Fuck off.
Ludicrous. Anyway, the other thing...
I love that shit.
Oh, it's so great.
It's so great. Give me a quiz and I will do it.
Oh, honestly.
You have to do gene keys. Do gene keys.
I will do gene keys. But the other thing I wanted to tell you about, which has also been a mind blower, and I don't know if it's true or not, but I think it's so useful for me to look at. So everyone always says to me, you run around a million miles an hour doing all different stuff, and I always feel like I'm pushing, right, or seeking, or, what's next, striving, right, exhausted. Yeah. Anyway, this same thing said that I'm meant to be a responder and I am not meant to strive. Sorry to point at you like that.
No, it was warranted.
I am meant to respond to things that come up because that will be right, and when I'm striving, I'll get confused and upset and lost. So let's look at factually. I go to do Women in Leadership talk a couple of years ago in November. Ash McGrath says, if you don't have a podcast, you should. I go, should I? I go to have lunch with Danielle and Danielle goes, I'm setting up a podcast studio, just so you know. Then I go, my friend Em says, where's the book? Kylie gets on LinkedIn and connects with me on LinkedIn, who's a book coach. Yes. I go out to coffee with Catherine, Sandra and Karen, my friends from high school, and Catherine goes, I'm the committee member of Festival of Fiction. You know you can pitch your book there. I go to Festival of Fiction and the lady there says, you should enter our Hungerfoot Awards in February.
Breadcrumbs.
So the thing, I don't know if other people can live like this, and I'm like, yeah, of course, that's how you live your purest life. But for me, the change to go from that desperate striving, I must produce everything, it's all up to me, to going, okay, universe, I'm open to your generosity, I'm open to your positivity, I'm open to what's good for me, please help me. I don't have to do everything. Whoa.
Yeah.
Like this next period of time is going to be very interesting.
I agree. I am nodding profusely because I've had the same experience.
Have you?
To the point of my appendix. Like this appendix stuff is forcing me to be more deliberate about not, just trying to just try and do everything. Like, I can only do a certain amount a day at the
Yes,
moment.
yes.
And so I'm like, what is the most important thing to me to do? These lessons in life, my God, my goodness.
It is. I don't know if other people are living their life like that and are waiting for cues. Do you remember Peter Cronin, we've talked a lot about on here? He said basically you're on earth to come back to your true self, which is how I hear it, is the stuff like I realised at the retreat. Like, I am worthwhile as a creature. That's all we need to know. Then he said, your life path is already laid out. All you need is faith and patience. And that's the element of this that blows my mind. Faith and patience, Danielle. That means I'm meant to just tick along, take it a hell of a lot easier than I have been taking it.
Yeah.
Spend time with my family, spend time with my friends, do things that are good for my health.
Yeah.
Live my life and let things come to me that I don't have to create from nothing.
No.
It's really a head-exploding idea.
Yes, totally. I agree.
And as both the eldest, of course, we've got that particular challenge because we're here to do shit.
Yeah.
But at first it was just mainly upsetting and uncomfortable. But as Eve, it's only been a few days, and as the days go on, I'm like, imagine if I could get in that habit and have this ease, respond to what comes up.
Yeah.
And do you know what? Even since I said to the universe, I'm willing to take your generosity without me doing anything, I got a beautiful message from Lockie with something I'd helped him with.
Yes.
I got a beautiful message from a friend who asked for some coaching out of the blue. And that was just within the first day of going, can you please help me have faith and be at ease and accept the wonder and beauty that is possible?
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
A responder,
Yeah.
not an initiator. I've been running around like a headless chicken forever.
I know. Oh, my God. Yeah. The one that I unpacked the other day was my problem solving.
Yes.
Like, it's all that my brain does.
Is solve problems?
Yes.
Is there always problems to solve?
Yes.
Okay.
I make them up if they're not.
Oh, I see. I was going to say.
So busy problem solving down. I really had a good look at that the other day. There are no problems to be solved.
What does your brain do when you say that? Does it start yelling at you?
Explosion.
Yeah, I was going to say, I could almost hear your head yelling as you said that. Don't even say that, Danielle.
It's so funny because, you know, as we were exploring it and whatever, like, my whole career, like what I'm good at in my career and has got me as far as I have is being a problem solver professionally.
Yeah.
So it's like my story and my behaviour has been rewarded through this stuff. But when I really, you know, break it down and look at it like you, there's nothing to be done. There is no problem to be solved. I'm making them all up.
Yeah, it really makes your head explode.
When you get to the whatever, like the few are that are like your thing.
I know. It is really, it's like, I know I keep referring to Peter Crone, but he said, there's nothing wrong, right? So
we're all fine.
If there was nothing wrong, the only problem is how we're relating to things.
Yeah.
You go, what the hell?
Yeah.
And also, what am I going to do with my time?
Well, this is it. This is it. There is time to write the books. There is time to do the things we want to do. But that ego and the stories and all the shit comes up. And like I said to you, I make problems up that don't exist just to keep myself occupied from doing the things that my heart really wants me to do.
Yes. But I mean, also, you must also recognise as you're looking at the ways you're getting stopped by your ego, how far you've come.
Absolutely.
Are we allowed to talk about that
you can
event?
See it. They see it. Which event?
You know, the event I attended.
Oh, yes, you can. Yes,
Okay.
it was very much fun. Yes.
Well, I mean, that was huge.
Yes.
Like, speaking of acknowledging what you've done, that was huge. So,
because as much as you have a I want to be seen thing, I have a I do not want to be seen thing.
Yes.
So to really work hard to perform that day, that was huge for me.
It actually is diametric opposite. I've run around in front of people, even though I haven't really wanted to be in front of people, running around doing that because that's what I'm quote unquote good at, like you're problem solving. I've been talking to people for 100 years. And then we both go, I go, I want to shut the fuck up. And you go, I'm going to get on stage. So that was delightful. I said when you came out on the stage, I said, I've never seen you look prettier. Like you just look so pretty.
Thank you.
And it was, do you want to talk about it? Tell us a little bit about it.
Yes. So I've been doing improv for a while now, and a friend of ours put together a children's improv group where we perform fairy tales and the kids get to suggest so much about the story and then we perform based on what the children have given us. So, you know, we have a basic sort of storyline, but it's very loose. So depending on what suggestions we get from the kids, we're off and running with that suggestions. And we have costumes. That's my favourite part is we put costumes on and we can be big and loud and silly. And there's 7 of us in the group. And we'd done a lot of rehearsals and things like that. And then we had our very first show a couple of weeks ago, or about four weeks ago now. And I had to use every single tool in my toolbox to get me to that stage because it was in my land of plenty. Performing and embodying joy and love on stage is in my heart's calling. So I know this to be true. But then I have all these stories about, you know, that are stopping me from doing it. So leading up to that show, I sort of had to say to Dan, okay, these are the things I need to do on the Saturday. These are the things I need to do on the Sunday morning. I need to do my meditation. I need to do this. I need to do that, just to stay in that pocket. Because I know when I'm in the pocket, I can do anything. Anything is possible. All things are possible. I am in my true nature and purpose. But my ego so wants to protect me from being seen, from being hurt, from being ridiculed. What will people say? You're not good enough. You know, all that shit came up. But I just knew that I had to do this. So, so now I've done it. And that's what I was saying to you. Now I've done the one. Okay, I've got one in the bag. I didn't die.
No.
Nothing happened. All my friends came. They were so supportive. Thank you for coming. And
you're welcome.
So many of my other friends came and just were so supportive. But I don't think everyone else knew how hard it was for me to actually get there. But it was such an achievement.
It was such an achievement. And that's the thing, like, to understand what it took and, you know, you could compare it with any other achievement in life. You're doing that in terms of the difficulty for you. It was probably the top of Mount Everest.
It was a life or death. Being
was.
Seen is a life or death situation.
I know. And
but performing my true joy and reason for being on this earth was also very compelling.
Well, you really helped me because when I said, what was it that made you be willing to go up on stage, you said, I was enjoying it so much, I couldn't help but want to do it. Because there was something I was not wanting to do. And I said, I don't know, I don't want to do it. I said, what made you decide to do it? And you said it was so good, I couldn't help but do it. And I think that is actually the key to a lot of this stuff is what is drawing us, where the joy of the idea is so big that we can manage the fear and ego around it, you know?
And it's also very much it comes back to that, what does success look like for you? So I feel at this age going, what means success for me is standing up in front of several children and being silly and putting costumes on and play acting. That makes me happy. But to actually say that out loud, compared to like the corporate career I've had before where I've done pretty cool shit sometimes. Like it's just so like, but this is real. This is who I really am. It's who I've been all along and never allowed to be. But that's success for me now. I have had, you know, a greater achievement with this performance than I've got from so many other things in life.
I would say it's probably your greatest achievement. And the thing you can hear as you talk about it, which I hope will be useful for other people, the difference between what might look or sound good to whoever, which is not even listening. That's the other trick. No one's even caring.
They're not in the arena.
They're not even there.
We only talk to people in the arena.
Well, we definitely like the arena folk, you know. But, I mean, you know, and I do still believe everyone's doing their best, but it is inspirational to spend time with people in the arena for sure. But yeah, I really get that. I get that. I get logically when you say, oh, you know, it kind of sounds silly that, but I can't even really hear it like that now, because I'm like, oh no, for you, that is comparable to anyone else's biggest fear and their greatest joy. Like, you know, to do something that is actually, I was thinking about this topic as well, because sometimes I feel a bit silly or self-conscious delving into this stuff when there's people in the world suffering so horribly, right? And you and I have talked about Brene giving us the excuse to say it's okay to be vulnerable even if you're rich and white and all those things. I actually think it's really as basic as Maslow's hierarchy in terms of, because we are so blessed to have the basics covered. And, you know, there was a fellow at the lights again today who didn't have the basics covered, right? So I cannot understand why. I gave him a coin. I was the only car, and I say that, one, to show off, but two, why the fuck are people not giving that guy a coin? They're driving past in $120,000 Prados. What they're saying to themselves is, that's your fault, mate, and I'm not going to support your bad choices. Basic. Anyway, people are so basic. It's really disappointing. Anyway, what was I trying to say before that? I soapboxed my way into distraction. That's karma. I get judgy and I forget what I'm trying to say. What was I saying before that? Your miracle of what you're doing, talking about...
people's view of success.
People's view of success. But then what was I talking about?
You totally went tangent.
I did. So I said, excellent, the $2 got me back. So I think it's like Maslow. So Maslow's, of course, talks about, food and drink, shelter, security, esteem, and then it goes into self-actualization and eventually self-transcendence. And self-transcendence is where you have such little concern for yourself anymore, you're just of service. So I would see someone like Thich Nhat Hanh perhaps as self-transcendent. Anyway, we are all running around, for those of us like you and I or Dan or Andy or people at a particular level of age and success and financial security, are self-actualising, right? So we have the freedom to sit in this band and go, what do I want to do, and all the rest. It allows me to have more compassion rather than picking on myself for spending time thinking about it. But I also had this other thought, which is, because we do have the luxury of all those other things, and because we are exploring how to be kind of the best version of ourselves for ourselves and others, I actually think it is quite a noble cause to go, how can I be the freest and most loving version of myself that will therefore impact others the best? Because I'm not bitter, I'm not blaming everyone, I'm not victim-y, I'm not like, well, I'd fucking do that, but, you know. It's like, actually, it's okay that we're trying to get as happy as we can be and as fully self-expressed. Because if I think about the people that have made the biggest impact on me without an untruth in that story, they are those people, right? Yeah. They've gone, what's true for me? And I have boundaries and I love myself, and I'm not just going to do whatever you want to be popular with you. Yeah. Yeah. You know, people say first world problems, and that's true. And I kind of mean that in this, but I don't mean it like, you know, hell have no fury like a white person mildly inconvenienced. One of my favourite lines. There was a video that Andy showed me the other day, and it was so fascinating, and I want to share it for all of us to ponder. I'll get the name and the video if people want to watch it. And it was talking about the importance of luck in things happening.
Yeah, oh, interesting.
And some people would argue it's not luck, it's my hard work, and some people argue it's not luck, it's Jesus, whatever. Yeah. But this fellow was talking about just pure luck. Yeah. And he did this fantastically interesting video, and one of the examples he gave, which highlights the idea of luck, is when people try and work for NASA, there'll be something like 10,000 applications for 10 positions, something like that. And he created this study, which he did with the right kind of study design, you know, randomised, placebo-controlled, you know, right number of numbers, p-value, n-value, all of that. Good study. Yeah. And he put luck into the mix of how things would work. And what it turned out to be is whatever the skill of the different applicants, 8 3/4 out of 10, luck played a big part in them being one of those 10. But he said there's an irony. You have to realise that's how life works, but you also have to treat your own life like it doesn't, so you still get on with stuff, right? And don't just wait. Like I'm meant to be waiting a bit more, but not so much that I never get out of my hoodie and I'm on the couch, right?
Yes. Yes.
But
there's still action to be taken.
There's action to be taken, but luck plays a part.
Yeah.
But the part I found most interesting, right, because I get very high horsey about people I see behaving badly when there's no reason to. So the cliched Karens, my poor old friend Karen has the real name Karen, but, you know, the famous Karens. And you see them, I see them a lot in areas where there's more wealth. So if I think of suburbs I've spent time with in Perth or in the world, often when there's more wealth, you'll get lower levels of behaviour, and I've never understood it. But this video helped me understand it. So what happens for human beings is if they have been successful financially, emotionally, normally not so much emotionally or spiritually, but let's say financially or career-wise, they will tell themselves that's all because of me. So they won't think, oh, hang on, I grew up in Australia, white, secure, with money, went to a private school. You know, they won't. They'll think, I worked hard and I got to where I got to.
Yes.
And because of that, then when what they consider bad treatment comes to them, they'll act worse because they're not consciously thinking, I'm the luckiest person running the show. I have worked hard for this. You should all understand that. I am superior to you. I can treat you as I like because I wouldn't be this wealthy and I wouldn't have this job and I wouldn't have this car if I hadn't been so wonderful. So it gave me a new level of compassion for assholes.
Okay.
Yeah, it really did.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, because I've got so angry in the past. I'll be in a cafe in, let's say, Claremont.
Yeah.
I'll be in a cafe in Claremont and some old biddy will be in there with her Mercedes parked out the front and will be abusing the coffee maker, and I'll look at her and I'll go, what makes you think that's okay?
Yeah.
And this video made me realise there is people really thinking it's okay because they don't understand any different.
Yeah.
I like every time I learn how to understand assholic behaviour better, it makes me kinder to people.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And that was one of the ones I was like, yeah, man, like, yeah. Yeah. It's I like when I understand what drives behaviour, and therefore, because I'm judgy, I can become less judgy.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And think of people more as, back to my other tune, doing their best, not understanding, they're confused when they're showing certain behaviours, and you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. I do. I felt like I had a similar experience in hospital the other week with my appendix and everything. Like, I actually had a great experience in hospital. Like, it sounds a weird thing to say, but I met the nicest lady in the waiting room, new friend.
Lovely.
She had worked for legal aid and also been a native title lawyer.
Oh, wow.
So, we were 6 hours in emergency sitting in there. We were laughing, had the best conversation. Both of us were just, waiting our turn and, quite happy to wait.
Yes.
Like, it just was one of those things we could see around us that there were people more desperate for help than we were. There was no point being all complaining about it. We had the best time. And I think because my energy was so good and I was so grateful to be in a good hospital system. Obviously, I read a lot on social media about other parts of the world. Yeah. And I was just like, how amazing it is I can just rock up to the hospital and be so confident that I'm going to get treated, that it's going to be good.
I know.
And there's going to be people to help me. And the nurses were all lovely. The surgeons were great.
Amazing.
And even like I think I was saying to you before we started, the fact that my surgery got postponed actually was better because the antibiotics had a good chance to work and everything settled down. So by the time I went into surgery, I think there was less inflammation and the surgery in my mind went better because I was delayed a little bit because, there was a big car accident and there was people that needed surgery before me. Totally fine with that. I just was thanking everyone that came into, because I know how hard they work and how thankless their jobs are, and I just think I had a really great aura around me.
Yeah.
And I could see other people in other beds around me having the most miserable time, and I thought, why? Why punish us?
I don't know.
That whole Sam Harris, the suffering that we create for ourselves.
Yeah.
I wasn't in agony. I was in pain, but not in agony. And I had people texting me who love me, who was saying, "Are you okay? I have my boyfriend visiting me to bring me my book." And I just had so much love and people looking after me. And then I had a bit of a bad experience with the anaesthetics, but but again, there was people there caring for me, and I came out and I'm all right.
Yeah.
And I'm a bit grumpy because I can't do anything for 6 weeks, but but like you get what you give, I think too.
Yeah.
Like,
well, that's what we say to Sam a lot. Like Andy will say to Sam a lot, hey, listen, buddy, just so you know, if you treat people well, you're just going to have a much better time in life.
Yeah.
I see it so often. People are so upset and they're waiting for a fight and they get it every time.
Yes.
They get it every time.
Yes.
So they run around. You know, you'll see a post on social media and someone will say, oh, do you remember my pigeon story where we saved the pigeon's foot? So my friend and I were at lunch. There was a pigeon, and do you remember he had cotton wrapped around his foot?
And
I think it was when Michelle Cowan was here.
Yeah.
So we undid the string, but his little toe was already black.
Yes.
And I gave him so much food he probably couldn't fly for a week. And anyway, I went back to meet my friend weeks later and we saw him.
Oh, yay.
Yes, and his toe had fallen off. So he was alive and he was there with his mates. He still had one feather sticking out of the top of his head. It was awkward. I was like, mate, we already sorted that. And he had one new tuft. But anyway, he's alive, very happy.
Yeah, great.
That was a joyous story just to say because I was so happy to see him. But the thing that I wanted to comment on was the fellow that was walking out when we were fixing him the first time, and he said to me and my friend, you've restored my faith in humanity. And I felt both happy and my ego liked it, and I felt so sad. I was like, do you really need to see people take string off a pigeon to feel like
good.
people are... People run around thinking people are terrible, and they get it. Day after day, they meet the worst of. You know, people will only be as you can expect them to be. Or I've said it wrong, but people will only be as you expect them to be. So if you look at someone with bitterness or hatred or anger or frustration or you're going to get me, they will likely get you. You know?
Yeah.
Sad.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, what are we saying? Try not to do that. You'll have a better time.
That's a great episode name. Try not to do that.
We'll call it that because there's a few different try not to do that's in there. It's so hard to like talk about stuff and try and sort of give advice, but then I feel like, what the hell am I doing trying to give advice? I always feel like, shut up. But I want to give the advice if I feel like, so yeah, it's an interesting one that. I think I'll just go back to my normal thing of saying what I'm working on and what I'm learning because I never like it when I go, now, everyone be nice. I'm like, oh, okay. But you should. It's a really good idea.
I agree.
Is there anything on that list that... Oh, two final things. One, I told Andy I'm on long service leave November, December, January. Bit of a hiccup because we're not employed. So I don't know whether he's on board with that, but I've given him prior warning. And we're totally in the house now. And there are 3 things in the old garage to move. And once we've moved them this weekend... That story is finally over. Yay. And our old house is getting rented for, I won't tell you the financial amount, but guess how much in terms of a percentage of the price we paid? And you'll have to help me if I'm saying the percentage right when I say it.
I don't know.
So in this rental market...
Oh, it's nuts.
So it's going on for just under double what we paid. Just under double.
Jesus.
It's a 2x1 shack. Christ. Beautiful land, beautiful.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh.
So... Housewarming. I'd say soon, but that's a lie. Probably mid next year.
Okay.
But at least we're in now.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. You wrote the book while you were moving house.
I know, while I was moving house. That was mental.
Like,
Andy needs a lot of kudos because...
Oh, you do one of yours. Come on.
Come on, yeah. But I also said to him, I was like, thanks, man, thanks for that. But he was just so proud. I think because he's seen me as a bit of a flibbity-gibbet, when I actually went, I've got to do this thing by date, and he could see me working really hard, I think he just felt proud that I was really committed because he's a very committed hard worker and he appreciates it about other people. So, he commented to me a lot, oh, I'm really proud of you. Yes. I was like, I think you've had a different opinion about me prior to this book. So what we're going to call this episode? That's a good idea.
You should do that.
You should do that. I quite like that as a name. I think maybe we'll call that. So we're in the house. I'm on long service leave, not officially, and and all is well. And it's a new day. It's a new dawn. It's a new life for me. What's that song?
Michael Bublé.
It's a new day. It's a new dawn. It's a new life. And I'm feeling good. That's perfect. We'll end it there, shall we?
We shall.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
See you soon.
Bye. Bye. Oh, my belly hurts from laughing.
Are you all right?